He couldn't take it. And so he started to drink. Addiction started slow in my family. It wasn't fast. It crept in like a thief in the night. We didn't expect it. We didn't expect our life to turn the way that it turned. We didn't expect the mental illness to enter into our family as it did. But it did. And then addiction entered. It started with a calm drink here and a little drink there. And then it became more. It became a need, right? You see that mental illness that was cycling through our home was overwhelming. And Dad, he couldn't take it. And so he started to drink. And again, it started small, just a nightcap here and there. But then eventually, it's the only thing that he knew. It's what he ran to calm his nerve. The shake in his hand wouldn't go away if he didn't appease it with another drink. And then the more that my mom's mental illness cycled, the deeper his drink got. And then it changed. You see, at first he was funny and he laughed and he played with us like it was nothing, right? The drink made him silly. But then he was angry. And then that grew really fast. Addiction doesn't show up as destruction at first. It shows up as relief. Relief from anxiety, relief from voices that won't quiet, relief from emotions that feel too big to carry. And at first, it looks helpful. People say things like, she seems calmer. He's doing better lately. At least this helps. And that's how addiction slips past the alarm system. In our home, the environment changed before the substances were named. The air felt unpredictable. Mood shifted without explanation. Promises became flexible. Consistency disappeared. And as a kid, you don't think, this is addiction forming. You think, what version of today are we getting? That's the thing about addiction entering a family. It doesn't just affect the person using. It restructures the entire household. Everyone begins to adapt around it. Kids learn to read faces, to listen for tone, to sense danger before it's spoken. You become an emotional weather radar, not because you're gifted, but because you have to. But then the wildfire spreads, not just through substances, but through behavior, through neglect, through emotional absence, through broken trust, through the constant feeling that something is wrong. But no one is saying it out loud. And addiction teaches children strange lessons. It teaches us love can disappear without warning. Stability is temporary. Silence keeps the peace. And needs are negotiable. You stop asking for things. You stop expecting follow through. You learn how to need less. What hurt the most wasn't just what addiction did to my dad. It was what it did to connection. Conversations became guarded. Truth became selective and honestly felt dangerous. Because when addiction is present, trust threatens the system. And here's the part people don't talk about enough. You can love someone deeply and still be harmed by their addiction. You can have compassion and still carry resentment. You can understand the why and still grieve the cost. Those things can coexist. As addiction tightened its grip, the house didn't feel like a place of rest anymore. It felt like a place of management, managing moods, managing expectations, managing disappointment. As a kid, you start feeling roles you were never meant to hold. You become the peacekeeper, the caretaker, the responsible one, the quiet one, whatever keeps the fire from spreading faster. But wildfires don't care about good intentions. They consume everything in reach. They burn through finances, relationships, reputation, emotional safety, and eventually they burn through the people trying to hold it together. I want to pause here because some of you watching know this story too well. And maybe addiction didn't start with substances in your family either. Maybe it started with untreated pain, trauma, mental illness, or grief. And then it spread. Not because your parent didn't love you, but because pain without support always multiplies. There was a long time where I felt conflicted about my dad. I loved him. I also felt hurt. And I wanted to protect my mom. But I also wanted to escape the chaos. And no one tells kids it's okay to feel both. So instead, we bury one feeling to survive the other. Addiction doesn't just steal from the person using. It steals childhood. It steals safety. It steals the ability to relax and to love without waiting for the drop. And even when you leave that environment, your nervous system, it doesn't always leave with you. Years later, you might notice it in yourself in how you brace for disappointment, struggle with trust, feel responsible for other people's emotions, and you confuse chaos with connection. That's not a character flaw. That's a conditioning. I want to say this clearly, especially if you're carrying guilt or confusion. Your loved one's addiction was not your fault, and the addiction did not erase their humanity, but it also doesn't erase your pain. Both deserve to be acknowledged. Healing doesn't require choosing sides. It requires telling the truth. For me, understanding addiction as a slow sneak changed everything. It helped me stop asking, why did they just not stop? Why couldn't they stop? And start asking, what pain were they trying to quiet? It also helped me name what it cost to me. And naming that cost was the beginning of freedom. If you're watching this and thinking, this feels like my family, like my home, I want you to know something. You didn't imagine the instability. You didn't overreact, and you didn't cause it. You were responding to a fire that started long before you had any control. This channel isn't about blaming parents or any other loved ones for that matter. It's about breaking silence. It's about saying, this happened, it mattered, and it shaped me. Because what we refuse to name, we keep repeating. We can't break that cycle if we don't name it. Addiction entered my family quietly, but healing started with honesty and forgiveness. And if this story resonates with you, you're not alone in it. You never were. So I'll ask you this gently. What did addiction take from your family? And what parts of you are still waiting to be seen because of it? Leave me a comment and like and subscribe for more healing as we go through this journey together. I'll see you next time.